Welcome to Unit 2, Lesson 19, Solutions to Inequalities in One Variable. Our learning goal today is to find and interpret solutions to inequalities in one variable. We have 3 learning targets today. Number 1, by the end of this lesson, you should feel comfortable saying, I can graph the solution to an inequality in one variable. Learning target number 2, by the end of this lesson, you should feel comfortable saying, I can solve one variable inequalities and interpret the solutions in terms of the situation. Learning target number 3, by the end of the lesson, you should feel comfortable saying, I understand that the solution to an inequality is a range of values such as x is greater than 7 that make the inequality true. Now we can start the practice problems for Unit 2, Lesson 19, Solutions to Inequalities in One Variable. Here is an inequality. 7x plus 6 over 2 is less than or equal to 3x plus 2. Select all of the values that are a solution to the inequality. Remember, anytime we see that word all, it means there can be more than one correct answer. To find out what the answers are, much like when we did equations, we want to isolate the x on one side and a number on the other side. And what that will do is, instead of on an inequality where it's giving us one answer, it will give us an inequality which is giving us a range of answers. So we're going to take the equation 7x plus 6 over 2 is less than or equal to 3x plus 2. The first thing I want to do is get rid of this fraction on the left. I can do that by multiplying by the denominator, in this case 2. But if I multiply the left side of the inequality by 2, I must multiply the right side of the inequality by 2 to keep it equal. The 2's cancel each other out on the left, and we are left with 7x plus 6. On the right side, 2 times 3x is 6x, and 2 times 2 is 4. Now, I want to try and keep a positive x, so I am going to subtract the smaller x from both sides. So I'll subtract 6x from both sides to keep it equal, and 7x minus 6x leaves me x. On the right side, 6x minus 6x is 0, so that's gone now. Next, the opposite of plus 6 is minus 6. So I'm going to subtract it from both sides to keep it equal. And I end up with x is less than or equal 4 minus 6 is negative 2. So this is our range. Every number smaller than negative 2 is a solution. So that would give us A, because negative 3 is less than negative 2. And because we have the or equal to symbol here, x is also equal to -2, which is answer B. The rest of the answers will make this inequality false. If you have any questions about how to solve this practice problem, please use class time to ask for further clarification before we move on. Find the solution set to this inequality. 2x minus 3 is greater than 2x minus 5 divided by 2. Again, we are doing just like we did when we were solving equations. We want to isolate the variable on one side and get a number value on the other side. The only difference is instead of having an equation that gives us one specific correct answer, this is going to give us an inequality, so we will have a range of correct answers. So we take the original equation, 2x minus 3 is greater than 2x minus 5 divided by 2. Again, I want to get rid of the fraction, and I do so by multiplying by the denominator. So I'm going to multiply both sides of this inequality by 2 to keep it equal and get rid of the fraction. So on the left, 2 times 2x is 4x, and 2 times -3 is -6. Greater than, on the right side, the 2 times the denominator of 2 cancel each other out, leaving 2x minus 5. Now, in order to maintain a positive x, I'm going to subtract the smallest x from both sides. 4x minus 2x is 2x. 2x minus 2x is 0. Now, the opposite of minus 6 is plus 6, so I'm going to add it to both sides to keep it equal. -6 plus 6 is 0, so that goes away. And -5 plus 6 is 1. The opposite of multiplying by 2 is dividing by 2. So we're going to do that to both sides to keep it equal. And this gives us our answer, x is greater than 1/2. As we look to the left, this matches choice B. So B is correct. A, C, and D are incorrect. If you have any questions about how to solve this practice problem, please use class time to ask for further clarification. Our next practice problem, here is an inequality. -10 plus x divided by 4 plus 5 is greater than or equal to 7x minus 5 divided by 3. What value of x will produce equality or make the two sides equal? So, if we want to change this to make the two sides equal, then we are going to replace the greater than or equal symbol to just equals. Now that we have done that, previously we have said you can eliminate a variable or eliminate a fraction by multiplying by the denominator. But this time we see that we have different denominators. We have a denominator of 4 on the left side and a denominator of 3 on the other side. What we need to do is find the least common multiple, a number that both 4 and 3 will go into. So what you can do is begin listing numbers. So we have 3 and 4. Next we would have 6 and 8. Then we would have 9 and 12 and 12 and 16. As soon as you see numbers on the top and the bottom that are matching, that is your least common multiple. So what we're going to do is multiply everything on the left side by 12 and multiply everything on the right side by 12. Now, 12 times negative 10 plus x over 4, 12 is divisible by 4 3 times, and that cancels out the 4 on the bottom. Now we have 3 times negative 10, which is negative 30, and 3 times x, which is 3x. Then we had 12 times 5, which was 60. On the right side, we have 12 times this whole fraction, 7x minus 5 over 3. Well, 3 goes into 12 4 times, so that cancels it out on the bottom, changes the 12 to a 4. 4 times 7x is 28x, and 4 times negative 5 is minus 20. Now we've gotten rid of the fractions. On the left side, I see like terms, so I can combine those. Negative 30 plus 6 is, or plus 60 is positive 30. Now, to maintain a positive x, I want to subtract the smallest x from both sides. 3x minus 3x is 0. 28x minus 3x is 25x. The opposite of subtracting 20 is adding 20, so I'm going to add it to both sides to keep it equal. And the opposite of multiplying by 25 is dividing 25. So I'm going to do it to both sides to keep it equal. 50 divided by 25 is 2. So we have our answer. X equals 2 will produce equality. If we want to check this, we would have negative 10 plus, instead of x, we're going to use 2. Seven, instead of x, we're going to use 2. Negative 10 plus 2 is negative 8. Seven times 2 is 14. Negative 8 divided by 4 is negative 2. 14 minus 5 is 9. Negative 2 plus 5 is 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3. And we see that we are correct. This does produce 3 equals 3. If you have any questions about how to solve this practice problem, please use class time to ask for further clarification. Noah is solving the inequality 7x plus 5 is greater than 2x plus 35. First, he solves the equation 7x plus 5 equals 2x plus 35 and gets x equals 6. How does the solution to the equation help Noah solve the inequality? Explain your reasoning. By solving the equation, Noah finds the boundary. Now Noah can pick a number on either side of the boundary and see if it makes the inequality true. One side of the boundary will make the inequality true. The other side will make the inequality. Once you know where the boundary is, one side of the boundary will make the inequality true, and the other side will make it false. If you have any questions about how to solve this practice problem, please use class time to ask for further clarification. Our last practice problem: which graph represents the solution to 5 plus 8x is less than 3 times 2x plus 4? So, the first thing we need to understand is that if you have less than or greater than, you're going to have a hollow circle. If you have less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to, you're going to have a solid circle. We can see here that we have less than, so we should have a hollow circle. And when we check each of these, they all have hollow circles. So we're good on the first step. Now, let's take the original equation, 5 plus 8x is less than 3 times 2x plus 4. The first thing I see is a number in front of the parentheses. That tells me I need to do distribution. The left side stays the same. 3 times 2x is 6x, and 3 times 4 is 12. Just like before, I want to keep a positive x, so I'm going to subtract the smaller x from both sides. So we're subtracting 6x. 8x minus 6x is 2x. 6x minus 6x is 0, so the x's go away. The opposite of a positive 5 is negative 5, so we're going to subtract 5 from both sides. 12 minus 5 is 7. The opposite of multiplying by 2 is dividing by 2, so we do it to both sides to keep it equal, and that lets us know that x must be smaller than 7 halves, which is 3.5. So now we look. We want the hollow point to be at 3.5, so it must be answer C or D, so we can get rid of A. Then we know that x must be smaller than 3.5, so we want the line going to the left. That makes D correct and C wrong. If you have any questions about anything we covered in today's lesson, please use class time to ask for further clarification before we move forward.